Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I'm out here today to compare these two tooth bars that are on these two buckets. This bucket right here is the Everything Attachments Wicked Bucket, which just means I bought a new bucket with the Wicked tooth bar already attached to it. This is my stock John Deere bucket, and it has a Bxpanded Piranha tooth bar that I just installed on it. And these are the two most similar tooth bars on the market because they have a similar pattern of a wider, longer tooth and then a shorter, narrower tooth. And that's the main similarity. The main difference is the Pirhana style bar is sharpened and smooth, whereas the Everything Attachments bar is more blunt on the end, but it has cutting edges all along the profile of the teeth. And the main purpose today is to see which one cuts better. And my goal is to put them in a variety of challenging situations and try to make the test as perfectly even as I can. That being said, there are no perfect tests. I'm still a human operating the pedal and the joystick, and I'm going to try to do everything the same and just do my best with it. Couple of things I need to point out is, number one, the Everything Attachments bar I've had longer and I have used it, so it's probably not as sharp as it was when I bought it. But I also think it's not completely worn out either. One other factor is when I bought this, I bought a 60-inch bucket. This is a 57-inch bucket. So it's a little bit harder to push a 60-inch cutting edge through material than a 57-inch. Those are both biases built in for the Pirhana bar, but I think they're very slight biases. I don't think those are so dramatic that you can disregard the result of the test. So I'm also going to try taking this Pirhana bar off and comparing a factory bucket edge against both of these edges, and then I have one more tooth bar that I'm waiting on, and I'm going to compare it directly to the winner of this contest and try to give the most information I can as to what is the best tooth bar on the market for a compact tractor. I don't want to do a bunch of tests on things that aren't practical. I want to test things that just a normal tractor owner might want to do. So first example is I have a rock driveway. I had a load of rock delivered, or I went and got a load of rock, and now I need to spread it out. So what does that bucket need to be able to do? It needs to be able to go in and scoop up a pile of rock. It needs to be able to spread that rock, by tailgating it out of the bucket. It needs to be able to back drag, and if you get too much in an area, it might need to scrape across and pick up that excess. So that's what I'm going to try to test with 3 different cutting edges. The next scenario that I want to test is digging into sod. In a minute we'll probably dig into some fresh dirt that doesn't have any grass on it, but right now if you want to dig a hole in your yard, you know which one of these will work the best. I want to start off by trying to just strip the top couple inches of sod off. Now I think my tractor is not particularly good at that. At least in my previous experience, the hydrostats start to whine and it just doesn't have the pushing power to cut through turf. But let's find out. There are probably people out there rooting for each of these three results. Either they love everything attachments, they love Bxpanded, or they hope the answer is to save their money and not buy a Toothbar at all. But no test is perfect, like I said earlier, but I did the best I could to isolate variables here and to try to do it the same way each time. Put the bucket at a little bit of an angle till I feel it cut in, level out, drive till it won't drive anymore, then scoop up and drive out. Because they're all going to pretty quickly hit a point where I can't drive forward anymore. But I would say definitively, on both holes I dug, the Bxpanded took out a deeper swath and a longer swath. It drove further before it bogged down. I was just speculating on which one of these cut the best. Then I remembered tape measures exist. So Here, this took about 2 inches off. This inch. The deepest part before I had to curl is 2.5 inches. And on this side, it's even shallower than that. And I total area that I dug is 32 inches. Now let's check the other hole over here. This hole took nothing. I made extra attempts with the factory edge. I couldn't cut anything with it. Now the deepest spot on the everything attachments was 2.5 inches. Right here, we're at 6.5 inches. And instead of a 32-inch cutout, we have a 55-inch cutout. So if that one was 2.5 and this one was 3.5, and that was 32 inches, and this was 38 inches, I might call that operator error. But what I'm seeing right here is significant. It's like double. And I don't think I made double the difference in the way I did it. Now I'm going to take these same 3 spots and I'm going to make a few attempts to dig a hole straight down in this one spot rather than see how much I can skim off. So I took 2 scoops out of this, but on that second one I made multiple attempts to keep clawing at it. So I'm going to try to do the same thing on the others. We're about 14 inches deep here. I felt like the Bxpanded bar was the clear winner, peeling off the sod. I really feel like all 3 were about the same in what I was doing just now. It's a little bit harder to measure. I ended up with a hole that wasn't as deep on the Wicked Toothbar, but I also knocked the camera over. I may not have went quite as long with it. All of them felt about the same from the operator's seat. One interesting thing is, even though the Wicked Toothbar and the Pirhana bar both have the staggered shape to them, the hole that I cut is smooth and flat on the Bxpanded, and you have that wave in the dirt on the Wicked bar. So that's the end of the test in this spot right here. So I'm going to knock the dirt back in the holes. And so I don't have the mess with this area later, I'm going to go ahead and run the tiller across it real quick. Then we'll try something else. Next test for a toothbar: brush, saplings, bushes. I kind of group all those into one thing because it's small trees. these bushes end up with a big heavy root system under it, so I think they're harder to pull out than saplings. When I did my first test on the Wicked Toothbar, I took out 2 of these bushes. We still have 2 right here together, but they're a little smaller. The 2 in the middle that are about the same size, I'm going to use those with the 2 toothbars. I may try the regular bucket on these. So there's 2 possible scenarios for cutting out saplings and bushes and stuff like this. The first is that the teeth cut the actual stalk off an inch above ground or whatever. Second scenario is where you're digging a couple inches below ground and ripping the whole root system out. We'll try both. You guys saw the same thing I saw. Well, actually, that's not true. I might have a different feel from in the seat than what it looks like. And I'll get a feel for that when I go back and re-watch it and edit these clips all together. But it felt like the Wicked Toothbar did the best job on these bushes. And what makes that interesting is I've already done this same comparison on 2 more bushes in this spot, and the stock bucket with no tooth bar on it did better digging out these bushes the first time. Now today, the Wicked tooth bar seemed to do better. And the part we can't figure or factor in with something like this is, were they all really the same? When I pushed into that first bush with the Wicked bar, everything just snapped off like it was brittle. Maybe it was easier, maybe it wasn't. I'm not doing this to guess. I'm really not even doing it to tell you what to buy. I'm just showing you my experiences. And I don't think it was any dramatic, obvious winner. So it comes down to what product costs the most, what company do you like the most in terms of how they treat their customers and just what kind of company they are. Availability, which one's gonna have a bigger wait time. I can clearly say that the Pirhana bar was better at the sod. They were the same in the rock. There was no winner there. And so now what's my verdict? What am I gonna run since I own both? I'm gonna run the Pirhana bar. I like it better. I don't know why, I just do. I think it was the slight winner in these tests. I like that it fits on this bucket, which is just how I ordered it. And I can use it with the Grapple. So you're most of the time gonna see me running this one. I may or may not decide to sell the Wicked tooth bar. Haven't really thought that far into it. But I tried to do the best test I could. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I'm gonna put links over here to more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.